Yo, welcome everybody to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to the silver class for round number 10 for the Japanese Grand Prix, and as always, for the time being, in season 16 for another round of a championship here. We should be live both on the YouTube and the Twitch, and encourage you guys to watch on your preferred platform. For the first 30 minutes, we are commercial free here tonight, thanks to the rights holders, and yeah, we're bringing you some great on action here with 15 drivers on track in a closed and actual new leader in the championship, and he is just coming out of the pit lane. He got promoted for the win last week with penalties that were given to Noah's Bowl. So it was a Red Bull 1-2 last week out, if I remember correctly. Hopefully that's right. I really didn't read the report, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Anywho, that is what we got here today. Is myself, C Freeze, alongside Mr. Camden Luca, your season 15 silver class champion, golden class driver, and platinum class commentator, and we'll be bringing you through tonight's proceedings. So welcome, Camden. Welcome to Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix.
Yo, as C Freeze would say. It's good to be here in the booth once again this week, and yeah, we got a couple of big storylines. Like you said, F1 Nerd coming off back-to-back wins, and Zionicle, his rival in the championship, coming off back-to-back DNF. So it looked like early on that Zionicle was going to run away with this, but it is definitely not over as we reach the 2/3 mark of the season.
Yeah, they went back-to-back and a little belly-to-belly, as we have F1 Nerd as the championship leader with 138 points to Zionicle's 135, and that's the first time someone... Is that Zionicle won the opening round? Is that right? Yeah. So this is the first time someone else has led the championship, as Zionicle is actually on provisional at the time being. As far as the Constructors title, we have Red Bull, which is F1 Nerd and Shabar, at 229, Williams at 142, that's Kluka and Pilot, McLaren, which is Whizbang and Zionicle, at 137. Also, thing to note, Chabar jumped up with that P2 finish from 4th to now 3rd in the championship at 91 points. And to be honest, he's not that far behind, 91 to 135 and to 138. He's been very consistent this season. He's currently P4. You know, I wouldn't even count him out for the championship, or even to get a runner-up with his teammate. I think that is a very doable scenario after him getting a bunch of sneaky podiums.
I agree, and I really believe, C Freeze, that Chabar has a shot at winning a race this season. He is so consistent, and I know Chabar won't say it because he's one of the most humble guys on the grid, but he is becoming a contender week in and week out for podiums and even for winning races, because he's led a lot of laps recently. It's going to happen. I'm not trying to jinx it, but it's going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, very well. Just going on board with F1 Nerd for his first flying lap of the day. Let's see where this puts him. Coming around the last corner. Some P3. Although that is a huge gap up to Zionicle, only one in the 27s. Also, a little shout out to Z-Man Nars. Welcome back. We haven't seen him in a few races, but he's right up there in the front row for the time being. Also, quick little shout out. Well, he's not on track, so that's not too well. Anywho, in the Aston Martin, making his debut, is Speedin. So he will be in the Aston Martin, and it'll be his first race tonight in TCR and in the silver class. So good luck to him. Hopefully we see a lot more of him.
Looks like his teammate Oreo coming into the pits, but he is right behind his teammate on track right now. And speaking of teammates, got to shout out the guy coming to the line right now, Whizbang, back on the circuit. Zionical's teammate for the first time since the Netherlands. And with McLaren being third in constructors, this could be big if Whizbang even puts up a couple of points tonight.
Yeah, he definitely needs, if they want to try and root for the constructors or at least runner-up in it, you know, the McLaren are going to need both drivers to score some points. So far, it's really only been Zionical. Oh, as Whizbang goes for a spin, he actually hits the wall. He chips a little bit of his front wing.
That was maybe the laziest spin I've ever seen. I am not sure what that was.
It's always bad when you crash or spin on your out lap or in lap for that matter, because I think that's his. I think this is his in lap actually.
It is.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter, but if he DNF'd, it would have been wow. But yeah, last week, if you guys did not tune into last week's race, I highly recommend it. It was a roller coaster chaos of the silver class. It really was the best race of the season. To be honest, there was a lot of stuff that happened. So if you did not tune in last week, I would just skim through it, maybe give it a like while you're there, and then come back here. But do that after you watch this race. As Noah's Bowl goes P2. A couple tenths off from Zionical.
Yeah, he's going to be hungry today. Might be trying to chase a little bit of oatmeal. You know, he was good last week, but a little inconsistent on track. The penalty put him down to P4 at the end of the day, but we know he's got the pace, so he's going to be hungry to possibly get redemption and get his first career win for the second week in a row.
Yeah, well, I know we're in Japan this week, so, you know, Japan, they don't really got that much, you know. You got sushi, you got seafood and stuff, but if you look at a lot of the Japanese, they're either really skinny or they're really sumo, you know.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
I mean, it's one or the other. You're never in between. So the skinny Japanese people, they eat the sushi, they eat the fish, you know. That doesn't fill them up much, so I don't know if he'll be full. The sumo wrestlers, I don't know where they get their food, but they must be sneaking it in somewhere. Maybe they're doing a militia or something. They're getting some McDonald's or something. But
they're going on that American diet. That's what they're doing.
So it depends if you want to go, you know, because in F1 you want to be light and nimble. You want to be a sushi eater. If you want to, you know, knock it out of the park, you might want to go sumo wrestling style. So. Yeah, that's all up to Noah's Bowl to see what he likes. Right now, he's actually did an extra lap. I don't know if he forgot to come in or maybe he double fueled. So he's going sumo style. He wants to. He's going all out. He's doing two of them. As Pilot nips him by a couple of hundredths, and he goes on to the front row. Pilot.
Well, I gotta say, those guys are definitely on that sumo diet, but Zionical is on the sumo diet and taking steroids because right now he's got half a second above Pilot, and, you know, this is a crucial race for Zionical. It has been over a month since he has last been on the podium, and like I said before, he has DNF'd in the last two races, so this is maybe a make-or-break race for Zionical.
Yeah, the good thing he's got going for him is that it's Japan. The bad thing that he's got going for him is that it's Japan. And what I mean by that is that if you practice, come prepared, you have a setup, this is when you can get pole position and you can really just go out and you know, make the difference out on the track because of the nature of the, you know, the twisty bits and the S section. As Kluka goes P2. The bad thing is if you're not prepared, it's very easy to make a mistake here, to go out, hit the grass or the gravel, you're off the track, your tires are dirty, you spin. The walls are pretty close, high speed, you could get caught up in a little bit of a mess as well, so it's good and it's also bad. It really comes down to whether or not it's a track that he, you know, likes and if he does well at. But this could be pretty good based off of his you know, first lap time. This should have an opportunity to go a little quicker.
Looks like Hallberg is headed down the back straightaway of Sector 3, and Hallberg was really close to winning last week. He was in the right position. Unfortunately, his tires were a little older. He got snatched up and ultimately ended up crashing out of the race.
Yeah, Hallberg was, that was kind of interesting last week. We were looking at his stats, and he's never had a podium in TCR, and he was in a really good position to even win the race, or even at least have a real shot at a podium, and ended in tears. Nice save from F1 Nerd. I was on board with him a couple moments ago. He was able to put his Red Bull up to P3, so he's a lot closer than where he previously was. Just want to mention, now that we have these beautiful comp packages provided you by and brought to you by Camden Luca himself,
you're welcome.
We have some lap records that we should maybe keep an eye at. So the F1. Oh wait, hold up. I don't know. Do we have the other one? Oh, I don't know if we do. That's the race. Never mind. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, we got the F1 race record and the TCR race record.
Well, here, give me 1 minute. I get the quality record. Hold up.
All right, I'll put that in my notes to add that for next week.
We're still
all right.
It was the demo. It was the demo.
That's right. The appetizer, the free trial, the free 1 week trial.
I guess I gotta pay to get the other stuff.
Yep. Yeah, that's the entry fee into the commentator's package.
So we're at.
Oh my gosh! Whizbang just did it again.
Oh,
he just did the exact same thing again in the S's, and he's out. That you can't make this up. That was on his in lap as well. Same exact thing, Seafreeze.
Yeah, I see a little bit of his wheel there. Well, I know where he's looking at in the race to make sure he doesn't do it again. Anywho, yep. I have the TCR pole record for Japan. In the silver class, it is set by STX with a 26.6. That will not be beaten today, not in these cars. That was on season 10 on the F1 2020 game, and those cars were lightning quick around here. The overall Japanese pole time is set by season 10 platinum class champion in platinum of Kersey with 125.846. So we're a couple seconds off from that. Those won't be broken for a long time unless these cars get quicker.
Or ever. Could be permanent.
You're right. That might never be beaten. Those 2020 cars were glued to the track.
Oh yeah. Do want to shout out real quick. Z-Man is on a lap, and it looks like he is flying. I know he hasn't been here in a few weeks, but when he is on track, he's always a contender to get a podium. So let's see what he does here as he goes through Spoon out of turn 14 right there.
Purple middle, 4/10 up.
Yeah, he could be tracking for a 3rd or 4th place right here.
Come to the line, he stays somewhat shallow, good enough for P5 into the 27s. We have 6 drivers into the 27s. Here comes the Mercedes. Some guy's just starting his lap time. Nose Bowl is finishing one, and that is going to be an improvement up to P3 to a 0.6. Shabar finished the lap time, did not improve. He stays 9th. D-Swish is just starting his lap time. F1 Nerd, same thing. Hallberg will be also behind him. A couple minutes, or a couple seconds left, actually, in qualifying here. Hallberg will get a lap time, and he will be the last one remaining. So there's a Williams coming around. That's Kluka. He's done. He didn't get to the line in time. Joby will be next up on the leaderboard with no wing. So he'll be quick on the straights.
Not in the corners.
Though. Cyonical. He is up on his time. Purple middle sector. He's looking to have an improvement to solidify pole position, get himself back onto his winning ways for his championship. And to the line, no improvement. Wow. So he stays with his best time that he set earlier on in the session. Speeding in his first qualifying in TCR will end at least 10th. Pilot is also done. Here comes some guy to go P7. His teammate will be finishing. He's invalidated. Ooh, and he actually spins it. We got some Red Bulls though. First up, F1 Nerd. Whoa, good thing ghosting was on. And that does not have any improvement. And that will do it. Oh, Halberg has aborted, so that is it. Cyonical with pole position, followed by Kluka on the front row, and his rival in the championship leader is starting 4th.
Noah's Bowl on his last qualifying lap ended up spinning out of Spoon. He looked like he was projecting to maybe improve on his lap, but he'll be starting in P3. But you know what? Kluka up in P2, which is interesting because the last few weeks, Seafreeze, he's been starting at the back, like the very back. And he's still been able to make his way to the front. Last week in Monza, though, he did crash out while towards the front of the grid, but Kluka's somebody that can get to the front, so I'm curious to see how he does when he's actually starting up front for once.
Yeah, and it's pretty, fine margins there as well. Only 800ths between the top two. It was kind of remarkable. Cyonical had that was his first lap, I believe, of the qualifying session, and it was good enough to stay on pole position. Usually you'll see some sort of an improvement throughout the qualifying, but that's not the case. Yeah, a little bit more traditional starting spots after last week. We had the feature here, which was the one shot and the 5-lap heat race. Kind of mixed some things up to where you had a little bit of a jumble of where these drivers were starting, but a little bit more traditional of where some of these drivers should be starting. We do not have a formation lap on for the rest of the season. It is off, so it's predictions time. Camden, you can go first.
Cyonical, I picked him last week. I really think he's going to win. I think he got the momentum from winning the Golden Class race last week, which, by the way, congrats to Cyonical on that. So he's going to finish P1. I'm going to say Noah's Bowl finishes P2. He's not going to get the win. He's going to come close, but he'll get his first podium. And then I'm going to go with Shabar in P3. He's good at this track, I'm telling you.
Nice, yeah. I'm actually going to go with Noah's Bowl from last week. I think for his first race, he was kind of airing the whole thing out a different format. I think since he got that penalty, that might set his motivation, good in this one. I'll do Cyonical P2 and F1 Nerd P3. Let's do it. 5 red lights. And we are away for the Japanese Grand Prix here in the Silver Class. Cyonical gets a good start. Noah's Bowl off the track. F1 Nerd will tag in on 3rd. And it'll be single file through the S sections. There's a car off in the back. That's some guy. Oh, another Williams off. That's going to be Kluka into the gravel. And he started up front. And now he is back to the back of the pack. And in order for him to get back up, he'll have to fight through like he's been doing. So all of that for nothing. He did start on the hard tire, which was probably not the best case. As Whizbang, also off in Degner too. These drivers.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the cold temperatures. We didn't have a formation lap. I don't know if these drivers were ready or not, but a couple errors here and there.
Yeah, I know that Joby was not ready. He did not go off the line, so he was probably still taking a bathroom break or something. But some guy ended up spinning out. That's a shame because I did notice the comments. We have quite the support for some guy today, so it's a shame to see him already at the back.
And Noah's Bowl eyeing on F1 Nerd, who had a really good start, up 2 positions. He's going to be working on that gap to get under that 1 second. Only 1 DRS zone here at Japan, as Speedin, the debut driver, gets past Chabar. Now Chabar's going to fight back. He'll duck back into the slipstream, and he'll fight another day.
Yeah, Chabar did not have the best start. He ended up going off the track a little bit in turn 9. He has still gained a spot off the line, but definitely not the cleanest start out of the entire grid.
And you could kind of see a little bit of a mixture of tires as well. All the hard runners seem to be struggling, with some guy in Kluka falling a lot of positions. Halberg kind of staying where he started. The soft runners not making much progress. They're going to be on the high fuel load right now. Tire temp and wear will probably be somewhat of a factor. So the mediums is probably the tire you want to start on for the time being, as Noah's Bowl gets past F1 Nerd through Spoon right before him.
That's not an area that you see overtakes happen often before Spoon, but he was able to do it on that curved straightaway there of turn 12.
Yeah, I think Noah's Bowl, he's got a little bit more pace in that Mercedes, and I think if I'm F1 Nerd, I probably stick behind him a few laps, see if he can try and close that gap, put some pressure on Zionicle.
Oh, I think there was just contact with Oreo and Pabu. Oreo going off the track a little bit, and now he's down to 12th.
Speed goes off the track into turn 2 and allows Chabar to pick up a position.
Yeah, those two have been a little feisty here to start out this race. That's not the first instance of contact they've had.
Could be the nerves. It's his first time in, give him a break. We'll see. He's just brushing him off a little bit. He went wide. He'll be all right. He'll settle in. F1 Nerd, though, got passed by a pilot, and it seems like he is struggling at the time being, as Whizbang is out, or he's off.
Yeah.
No front wing of VSC is out.
Yeah, not been the best start for Whizbang. He's had a couple of incidents in qualifying, and now in the race. And Joby as well. He has had maybe an even worse start, as now he has a penalty for ignoring the yellow flag.
Yeah, sometimes the VSC, especially this early, like, you're not really going to gain much unless you're on the softs. You might want to get off them here, but other than that, it really doesn't change much in the race, other than it does put that factor of you have to watch your delta still, just because it's a VSC, and that's exactly why both Haas's now have penalties. Pabu has a drive-through penalty. That's exactly what the VSC does. I mean, it makes all the drivers be on their toes a little bit. It's not a time to just break and like, all right, I need a drink of water. No, you got to look at your delta. You got to make sure you're not hitting anybody, and that's under a VSC or a safety car. So even though it might not change the race outcome, it does allow, for some of those penalties more regularly.
I'm really watching Z-Man here. He is hovering D-Swish on those soft tires, and it looks like he's going to try and make something happen here relatively soon.
He went down to first gear, and that is an issue, and that's why I was on board with him there. Yeah, one too low a gear. There's no traction in turn with the first gear.
Does that count as a commentary's curse?
No, it does not. I
Really?
don't think so. No, that one.
I don't know. I was just like, oh, look at him. He's on the soft tires. He's fast, and then, boom, he spins.
Yeah. Just one too many clicks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But he's gonna try and overtake Oreo in the chicane. Little Alonso Vettel moment. This time, the Alpine would win out to the line.
He got DRS too, C-Free, so he's going to hold this position.
Yeah, Paboo was looking good too. He was in the points. I think Haas still don't have any points this season. I know they didn't start the season out. Both of the drivers kind of came in a few races in, but that drive-through penalty will put him behind. But he was looking for a nice one. Oh, Z-Man again. And Oreo. Both in the gravel. It was probably contact, if I had to guess.
Oh, here comes Joby! And he
Oh!
down and he hits the wall. Oh dear.
That's like, man, that's like when you see a squirrel and, when you're driving and a squirrel comes in front, you don't want to run it over, so you slam on the brakes. But these, well, like, he must have had the ABS on, but either way, that thing turned right into the wall. And Oreo drive-through penalty. As now, with that safety car, I would say a lot of people coming into the pits. F1 stays out. Chavar stays out. D-Swish stays out.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, because the hardest can easily go the distance at this point, and a lot of people are coming in and pitting, including Zionical.
Yeah, it was really with Zionical, Noah's Bowl, Pilot, Paboo. He had that drive-through, so I don't know if he'll be able to serve it or if he did. We'll see. He's coming out of the pits right now. He's still going to have to serve it. Oreo as well. And you can't serve a drive-through penalty unless they change it on the game. You can't serve it under a safety car. I'm pretty sure you could do it under a VSC. Or maybe not even. But it has to be green. Green flag.
Now, I am a little worried. I know that if this were to happen in real life, if you're in Paboo's situation and you get a drive-through, but a safety car comes out, then you just serve it after the safety car. But with this game, C-Freeze,
oh yeah, he'll get DQ'd. Yeah, he's gone.
That sucks.
Yeah, he'll be gone. Oreo too. They're both DQ'd. See ya.
Wow. That's a shame. And I do want to clarify, last week, Paboo finished P7, so Haas now has a whopping 6 points.
Oh, he did finish P7. Yeah,
he did, yes.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, Haas has some points. They're on the board!
There we go.
They made it, maybe. We got them!
Only took 9 rounds.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about! Gunther's happy.
As a fellow Haas driver, I am proud of you, Paboo. Thanks for representing the Haas.
I actually don't know if they'll be disqualified, but I would not be surprised if they did. Because usually you have 3 laps to serve it, but I don't know if they calculate with the safety car. They should be alright, but in a perfect world, they should be alright. But this is not a perfect world. This is Codemasters.
Yep. Hey, this is not peace, love, and happiness, unfortunately.
Excuse me, EA.
Same thing.
Well, this will kind of change things up because you got the top 6 all stayed out. And basically everyone back either has some penalties or issues or they pitted. So they have a little split action here. Zionical and company, they could go down to the end. but they're going to have to maneuver through some traffic. And this is where we've seen Cyanical have some of those issues and DNFs and problems, is when he is restarting in the pack. He kind of either gets impatient or gets unlucky, and that's where his DNFs have really come from, or his bad luck, or whatever you want to call it. He has problems, when he's back in the middle of the pack. Not all the time, but that's, you have a higher possibility of that happening. Japan's a narrow track as well, so this is going to be nerve-wracking, to start this one.
I'm telling you what, though, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an incident here between Noah's Bull and Zionicle, because Noah's Bull is breathing down the rear wing of Zionicle. He just gave him a little bit of space here, but I've been riding on board with Noah's Bull. He has been cutting it as close as you can to making contact here under safety car, so I'm really curious to see how much space they give each other when the safety car comes in this lap. Yeah, you can see it right there. Like, he gets all over the rear wing of Zionicle, so he's just asking for disaster.
Yeah, there's really no reason to get that close, because you really can't pass until the start-finish line anyway, so you don't want to risk a broken wing. And you shouldn't be going, side by side or anything, but yeah, you just got to take care of your car. Anywho, safety car is back in this lap. It'll be up to F1 Nerd when he decides to go. And there we go.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
Did it in between the chicane, right in the corner. And look at the run in the back. We got Halberg, we got Kluka, and here's Zionicle. He's got two in front of him. He'll go down the inside. Oh, he gets the Ferrari. And look at that. Pabu disqualified. I mean, did I tell you or did I tell you?
Well, Oreo just came in the pits. He was smart. He served it immediately. That's on Pabu right there. Pabu, I don't know why he didn't come in right now. It's been like 6 laps since you had the drive-through given to you.
Yeah, usually it'll say you have to come in this lap. So, yeah, safety car came in. It's now green flag. You have to serve it. So, yeah, that's up to Pabu if he had to come in that one. Up at the front, F1 Nerd got a good gap. D-Swiss Shabar speed and Zionicle gets past Kluka. Here comes Noah's Bowl. Oh, he's almost bumping him.
Oh my god. He doesn't give an inch, Steve Freeze.
Man, he's like B-Time. He races like B-Time.
He's in a Mercedes, too.
This could be B-Time.
It's
not B-Time.
Oh,
Pilot!
Theory.
Pilot gets past his teammate. That was a nice move through 130R. I don't know if that was orchestrated or not, and Albert goes around.
Oh, man, I don't know. It looked like he was trying to brake. He was about to make contact with one of the Williams, and he had to spin out.
Zionicle gets past Speedin. That's for 4th. Noah's Bowl back on the back door. He's knocking.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he took
a good
Speedin'.
overtake.
I have a feeling Noah's Bowl likes Halloween. He just likes knocking on doors, taking them candy. It's a little early, though. We got a couple weeks. I think he's got his outfit picked out, though.
Is that why his username is Noah's Bowl? Because he's got his bowl of candy ready to go, and he's just stealing all the bowls of candy.
Yeah, you said he was hungry. He's hungry for candy.
Clearly.
Old Zionicle was looking at the inside of Shabar. The gap closed. It's a little bit of slack in the chain, so to speak. Wow, this is going to be interesting. A little wiggle there from Zionicle. We're on board with Noah's Bowl. Zionicle looking outside. Shabar's going to give him the room. He's riding onto the grass. Oh! Around the outside. Oh, another one.
Oh, that was risky.
Oh, onto the curbing. Here comes Pilot. Yeah, you could. They could have waited. They could have. He could have had the position. He still might get it though. Nope. Oh, contact. Pilot is off.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh. Okay, he's okay. Yeah, that might be another penalty coming Noah Bull's way, unfortunately, after this race.
Yeah, a little impatient there, but he's still got a wing. I think all is fair and fair is love, or whatever that is saying.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Oh, F1 Nerd got a penalty.
Yeah, that's something he tends to do, Seafreeze. He got it last week. It worked out for him in the end, but he's got to stop doing that, especially before halfway in the race.
Yeah, and Japan is one that it's really hard to cut or extend here, because if you extend, you're in the grass, and the curbs aren't really too friendly. And if you cut, you're in the grass, and again, the curbs aren't the best, you know. Maybe he did it in the chicane is really my thinking. Could rack up a few through the chicane. Noah's Bowl gets Chabar. This time they'll go inside.
Ooh, he almost hit him.
Zionical rolling up to D-Swish. An F1 Nerd in front of them. They're going to be two side by side. Through one, through two. The championship leader is ahead leading this race, and the P2 runner is now in P2. Whoa, we almost lost it. Wow, another safety car. Whiz bangs out.
Yeah, that was out of the final corner there, right before the pit entry. I don't think he was trying to pit, but he has crashed right before the pit entry on the inside of the pit wall. That was out of turn 17 going into turn 18.
Yeah, and I don't know if that does his teammate much favors, because now F1 Nerd, who has to pit again, will most likely pit here with a nice free pit stop.
Wow. Yeah, that really worked out in Red Bull's favor, didn't it? I still don't agree with the call, just because you don't really want to take a chance on a safety car coming out. You know, that's not a dice I would want to roll in a game of Yahtzee, but it looks like they're going to pit here. Definitely for the hards. You cannot take soft tires 16 laps.
Yeah, he's coming in. See if Chabar follows him in. Yep, it might be a little double stack. They might be just far enough apart. He'll get held a little bit.
That's going to hurt Chabar. Yeah, that's going to hurt him a lot. He's going to be going down to... Well, let's see where he cycles out with everybody pitting. Looking like P8.
Yeah, he got jumped by Speed and some guy. I think he got jumped by a few cars. That puts a little bit of a reset. Now that everybody is pitted, the top two reclaim the top two in on track, but they're going to have older tires. Only by 6 laps, but that is probably enough of a difference to start to feel it, especially towards the end of the race.
So, I do want to go back a little bit to one of the comments that we have in the chat by none other than Mr. Sir Charles. He is talking about Zionical's recent history in the last couple of weeks. Back-to-back DNFs in silver and a golden class win has got to be one of the weirdest runs in TCR history. And right now, he may be looking for a silver class win. So, yeah, I would agree with that, Seafreeze. Back-to-back DNFs when you're leading the championship, you go up the golden class and win a race, and then you make your comeback here, and you're leading halfway through at Japan.
Wait, he won in Golden Class?
Oh yeah, he won at Italy last week.
No way, did he?
Oh yeah, I was there. Charles was there too. We are first-hand witnesses.
Really?
Yep.
I thought GT won it last week.
Nope. That's why you guys have to go check out the stream to see what
right.
you all missed. Go check out last week's Golden Class race because we did not have a Platinum Class race last week. So Silver and Golden is all that the track of Monza will give us this season. So go check that out.
Well, I should. Well, so Zionicle swept. Well, no, he didn't. He didn't win this one.
No, he
won
didn't.
the Golden. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That is weird. I wasn't able to watch it, so that is my apologies. I didn't know. That you know what that is right there?
What?
That is badass. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He made you guys look like schmucks.
Well, I don't know how Zionicle is going to feel about me spreading this classified information, but he was talking with me last week, and he was kind of wanting to go up to Golden for the rest of this season, which at this point we can't do at this point in the season, but you know, I get it. You know, he's coming off back-to-back DNFs in Silver. Last week he got in an incident with some of the guys at the back of the pack, so he was a little frustrated with some of the drivers in this class, but he is still in the running for this championship. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down. It's a matter of how many times you get back up. And right now he is in prime position to take the points lead back. He's got some company, though, with F1 Nerd on fresher tires. So Zionicle, we know he has the pace. He's just got to stop making the mistakes and just do what he did in the beginning of the season and just go out there and be Zionicle.
Yeah. Quite motivational by Cam DeLuca.
Yep.
What's that song that you like?
There's a lot of them, but I've got a couple of playlists. I don't know. You Spin Me Round. That's one of the songs I played during my Platinum broadcast. You know, if you spin too many times in the Platinum class, I'm just putting this out there, I will harass you with that song, so don't do it.
No, that's for Meb to be doing.
Oh. Yep.
He doesn't race anymore anyway. Seems like nobody races anymore.
Yeah, nobody races anymore.
Topical.
Sign up today on the website, TrinityCompetitiveRacing.com.
There we go, 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 go. Zionicle's away. He gets a little bit of nose bowl, catches him a little nap in there. Here comes F1 Nerd. Unable to get it by. Be the top three, followed by then D-Swish. He's got a little bit of a gap.
Shabar did not get a good start. He is a pretty good ways behind Speedon in that 8th position after that double stack in the pits. So he's looking to really get something going here in the second half of the race.
Yeah, this is going to be close between definitely these top two for the rest of the race. And then we'll have to see if F1 Nerd or D-Swish or Pilot, and really a lot of these guys are still capable of winning. F1 Nerd with that penalty, though. It's not ideal, but he only has one.
Oh, Noah's Bull is drifting through Spoon. F1 Nerd's going to take advantage of this.
Look at the position. I think Noah's Bull's going to try and look back at him, but he hits that curb at 130R. He had to get out of the throttle for a second.
I think Kluka just made a good overtake in 130R.
Yeah, Noah's Bowl, he's struggling a little bit. I think F1 Nerd, he's got the better tires. Remember, there's a little bit of an offset by 6 laps or so.
Oh, man, yeah, he is pushing.
Yeah, those hard tires, especially used to start a safety car restart, is one of the harder things you can do. They got to get up to temperature. Oh, he's off the track. He's off the track. He is sliding down, and he'll rejoin back in 10th. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a big change.
That was going to happen eventually, Seafreeze. He was just pushing way too hard, and you just got to do what your tires provide you in that moment and not step over the edge.
I'm surprised he actually didn't pit while the rest of the grid did. He opted for that track position, which could be good if you can handle the tire and the tire wear, and obviously he couldn't handle the tire warm-up or the wear, one or the other, because that caused him spinning. It was all in his own. Zionicle is managing it quite well. He's got a 1.3 gap. F1 Nerd just getting in within that DRS zone. And he's just got right out of it, as I say it. Now he's back in.
Yeah, he's hovering around that 1 second gap, and he has used a little bit more of the battery than Zionicle, so he's definitely pushing to try and stay in that 1 second gap, and it looks like Zionicle's got more of the pace, so, oh, F1 Nerd, yep, he got on the curbs a little bit, and he's in the grass. So yeah, he's going to fall outside of DRS. You know what? Guess who's on the move, Seafreeze? I'm telling you, he's been good at doing this season. You've made up 3 spots since the restart. He's on those mediums, and he is hounding speed, and he's done this twice in 130R. Is he going to do it again?
We'll have to do it on the main straight, but Speedin will also have DRS. He gets a bad exit, though.
I just don't like... I mean, look at... Oh, we have a yellow. Who is that? That's Z-Man's around.
Just a local yellow. But he'll have to go all the way again. And that is a slow in-lap for a new wing. We actually get a VSC. Now, you just got to hold your breath. Make sure nobody gets any penalties here.
Boy, I was just about to say how Kluka was doing absolutely terrible at conserving his battery. I mean, he was just dumping it all out of the car, but now he's going to get to harvest it a little bit. But I'm going to have to give him a little bit of a talking because he's not doing a good job with the battery. I mean, this is just not good. He was down to 15% there when the VSC came out. It's just... We got 10 laps to go. It's just he's got the pace to just go up there and get a podium. He doesn't need to be draining the battery and run laps.
There it is. F1 Nerd drive-through penalty. Speeding under the VSC. And those are mistakes that cannot happen, especially when you're, looking for a championship. The VSC is such, it's hard to manage that gap. That gap can change in an instant.
Pilot should, I don't know if he knows he has a drive-through, but he should recognize the scenario and not try and force an overtake there. That could have been disastrous.
He goes an extra lap.
Okay. Interesting.
You got to make this overtake. Put pressure on Zionicle. He knows the situation, but make it hard for him. He goes side by side through one. F1 Nerd will get it.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to question that decision, but I think that's the right decision. Oh man, Zionicle, man, he loves to drift through the S's.
Because now he's got dirty air. He's got dirty air. He didn't have that the last few laps. He's now off a little bit. Oh, that was inches from doing the same thing that Noah's Bowl just did.
But you see, though, if F1 Nerd wants to do this, he needs to back off a little bit. Now he's starting to pull away, so yeah, now he needs to back off a little bit if he wants to kind of close the gap up between Zionicle and Pilot, which is, I think, it's a cheeky thing to do, but I think it's the right thing to do in this scenario for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was his fault that he sped, but, you know, in the moment, you got to do what you got to do, you know. I don't think he's got to really lay off, but, you know, through the S section, just do what is minimum required.
I think Kluk is trying to set up an overtake here. He's dumping the battery. He's going to try and get speed in. Will speed and lift? He will. Oh, he gives him a bump.
Yeah, speeding coming back on him. Or he's got some guy right behind him as well. I want to go on board with
lost it.
Zionicle. I just want to make sure he makes through here. He was really sketchy last time. Especially through this corner. Alright, he makes it through alright.
Telling you, Pilot is really applying that pressure to Zionicle. He could be in a good spot here, maybe at the end of the race. Okay, now Zionicle just got a really good exit out of the hairpin. So F1 Nerd, he needs to serve the drive-through this lap, but he might want to try something here. Maybe try and get Zionicle to go side by side with him or something coming up. Maybe back off a little bit.
I think he has one. I think he'd have one more lap.
One more?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Usually.
Either way, he's cutting it close.
Yeah. He does come this time by. But that sequence allows Pilot to get now within the DRS of Zionicle, so now we have a true battle for. Oh, and Zionicle goes off! Loses it to Pilot. Whoa, man, that could have been real bad.
When Jabbar squeezes by some guy, both of them didn't lift out of turn one.
Oversteer for some guy, a little bit has to correct the car. And these Mercedes, just like last week, they're always on the same part of the track and they're battling each other. You got some identical speed. Whoa! He'll go for the inside, but before Spoon. He did it earlier on in the race and he'll do it again.
Take a look at who's up in P3. Luca, but did he use too much battery early on? I'm telling you, he was in a great position with the tire that he was on, but I don't know if he's going to get up to P1 and P2. Oh my goodness! You know what I just saw? Yep. It is raining, and here comes Kluka in the pits. Is he going to put on inners?
Wow. And here comes Zionicle for the lead. Speeding in the pits for Jabbar. You know what? I was literally gonna say something because the sky opened up, but I said, "Oh, it's getting more sunny. It's not getting rainy." It looked like it was opening up, but I said, "You know what? Nah, I don't think so. I think it'll just be to the end." But wow, we're gonna get some intermediates here.
You know what? I think I spoke too early on Kluka's battery usage. I think he might have known. You know, the weather was coming in a few minutes, so he drained all the battery because the battery usage gets a lot slower under rainy conditions. So he probably recognized that, and he is in a prime position to maybe steal another one.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly some of the, you know, sometimes these tracks can get real greasy and wet right away. I think the inners are the right tire at the moment. And I think Kluka should come out with the lead. We'll have to see these top two pit. How this shakes things up. Also.
Oh, no, Bull's going to try this here in the hairpin. Oh, he sent it on speed, and they're side by side.
They're still side by side. This is rough.
Oh, man, Noah's Bull. He goes all out, man. He does not care.
He did lift there. The top two continued on. They did not pit. And Pilot's going to take the lead back. Now this is not good. This is, if you're the championship leader, or not, but he was very close to the championship lead, only by a few points. Ionical, you had to come in then. Don't risk it. There's no need to risk it.
Oh, take a look at this coming out of the pits. Kluka is, oh my gosh, he really tried to get ahead of D-Switch there, went off the track, but he's going to take the position. Boy, that was close.
To back up towards this front, I mean, man, I'm surprised Zionical on 16 lap hard tires stayed out an extra lap. It doesn't look too bad. Like, I feel like it's doable, but if it's going to continue to get worse, it's only going to continue to get worse. No, is
that's
he
a
gonna
good
try
point.
He's going to try a 130R. Oh, that is, oh no! They both had to get out of the throttle.
I think Zionical will be okay, though, because he definitely lifted to give him the spot back.
You got to pit now, right? Yep. Watch your speed, folks. Watch your speed. Wow.
You're telling me Pilot didn't speed there? He was literally drifting coming into the pits. How did he get down to 50 miles an hour?
We got to watch our eyes on Kluka. Did he gain enough?
Gonna be close.
Coming down to turn one. Yeah, no, they actually hold it. So that was actually the right call. Pilot from Zionical.
Oh, some guy is trying to go to the left of D-Swish in the S's. Didn't have the preferred lane, but both the guys ahead of him are blinking. Kluka and D-Swish are blinking.
You have a couple laps before there's no more chance of a safety car. You could probably still get one if something happens within a lap or two. But it's getting right close to the end where this could wrap up.
Now, hold on a minute. Oreo African has not pitted yet, and he has a 6-second lead with just 4 laps to go.
Yep. Yeah, I wasn't going to say it, but now if something happens, you can blame
I'm telling you, he's not losing that much time.
No, he's not.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't going to say anything. He's actually gaining time.
Are you kidding? Oh, that would be cool. I shouldn't have said anything.
I mean, Pilot and Zionical, they're going to go side by side. They're going to be battling. Oh, Zionical's off the track. Man, he is really wheeling and dealing.
Oh, and it looks like Noah's Bull and Speed and both went off the track. Here comes Jabbar. Jabbar's going to get a 2 for 1, and there's contact, but he gets it.
Halberg's at the back of this. He's saying, I'll grab all 3 of these positions. Y'all got penalties. Some guy gets Kluka before Degner won.
Yeah, Kaluka's been doing a better job at the battery. Oh, we have a spinner. Z-Man, once again in turn 18.
It's getting interesting here.
Yeah.
We're getting down to 3 laps to go, and Oreo has about 1.9 seconds to work with.
Oh man, I hate the fact that he has a penalty. He's going to win the race if he didn't have the penalty, which says a lot because man, he is the only one that thought about staying out, and it's going to work out for him.
I still think it could work out because these guys are battling into one, and whoa!
No.
Man.
Oh wow, Hallberg's around. Dude, Zionical's a wheelman. I just gotta say it. He is a wheelman.
He's wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of this, look at the front stretch. Speed and Noah's Bull are going to war. This is cool. Oh, I don't like that gap, though, Seafreeze. Take a look at the gap at the front.
Yeah, it's coming down real quick. Oreo doesn't have much battery to play with, and I think the track is getting increasingly wet to the point the inters are probably the better tire. I don't know why Pilot's not using any of the battery. I mean, he's only half a second off. He's still got plenty of time. He can see he's closing in on Oreo. Here comes Chabar and some guy. Oh, they hit each other and Chabar! Oh, they're going to go to the wall. They're going to go to the wall. I don't think... Wow, I'm surprised nobody had any damage there.
Yeah, honestly, I saw that coming. Those two were going at it the last couple laps. I knew that was going to happen, unfortunately.
So go back up to the front. Zionical, go past. He goes past Pilot.
Oh boy.
Boy.
Oh, dude, this is not over yet.
2 laps to go. Can Zionical get it? Is it going to be Oreo? Will it be Pilot?
Oh, D-switch. He's right in front of Noah's Bull, and Noah's Bull has to make a last-second dive.
Zionical closed in a lot on Oreo in this sector.
Yeah.
I think he's a lot quicker than Pilot, so yeah, this is going to be it. It's fully raining now. Oreo is a sitting duck.
Looks like he's going to get a podium, though, Seafreeze, because Kaluka is more than 10 seconds behind.
Does Oreo have a podium? You want to check that?
I am 99% sure he does not, but I'll double check. But this is definitely going to be his first podium.
Oh boy!
If he doesn't spin out here, which I don't know how he's going to be under pressure. He's never been in this scenario in this league, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, and the penalty is it's 3 seconds, so it'd be a track limit penalty. Those are pretty hard to remove unless you got pushed off, so it's most likely going to stand.
Yeah, this will be his first podium in TCR.
Coming on to the front stretch. Zanik will have the clear go ahead. He's disqualified! Oh, that is not right. That's an error.
That is ridiculous.
And I'll tell you what, usually when that happens, I'm pretty sure we call the race on that lap. So the race could be over right now. Those positions come to the line. That could be the race.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes my skin crawl, though. That's ridiculous.
That's happened back a couple seasons and years ago on different games where that has happened. And because it's raining, you don't have to use any tire specifically. So the game got that one wrong because it happened on the lap before. We usually say that's what we pick up. That's what happened seasons ago. But we'll have to talk to the steward and see what to do, because it'd be hard to place. It'd be hard to place Oreo third or second. Like, you have to kind of pick. You have to finish the results on that lap. So this might have to go to the steward's room. But anywho, Cyanical will still win the race. Pilot in second. And we'll have to see what happens with Oreo here. But Cyanical returns to winning ways here in Suzuka. After 2 DNFs, he claims a victory with a P1, and he reclaims the championship lead over F1 Nerd, who had a drive-through penalty earlier on in this race. He is set to finish in P9, or he'll only get a few points, so this has swung right back into his favor of Cyanical. Pilot finishes P2, and we'll have to see what the unofficial results are. I guess it would be Kluka for the time being.
Yeah, a big day for the championship for Cyanical. As of now, he's going to finish P1, and I think that's going to stand because of Oreo's penalty. But F1 Nerd finishing in 10th today. Red Bull had a pretty disastrous day. A lot of mistakes by both drivers. Did it disable DRS?
I don't think it did, and I think that's why he got disqualified.
Okay.
Because it wasn't technically wet enough when it definitely was. I think because the dry tires were actually a little bit better. Because Oreo was keeping pace. I'm not Oreo's not the best of drivers. Let's just put it. Just to say how it is. If let's say Cyanical was on the dry tires or F1 Nerd, I'm pretty sure they probably would have been able to pull a little bit more of a gap on those dry tires at that stage. But
yeah, I will say though, but if there's any track that Oreo is good at, like really good at, he's finished top 5 here before. This is easily his best track, so it does not surprise me to see him up there contending for the win, even if it's on strategy. But we'll have to see. Like I said though, because of his penalty, he's not going to win the race, which sucks because based on where he was at the time of the disqualification, it looked like he was in the lead. So that's crazy though. But Cyanical, regardless, is going to win this race. So congrats to him.
I remember there was one other time. It was back, I believe it was season 7. Platinum class at the time. It was at Singapore, and our season 5 platinum champion Sean crossed the line at Singapore, and he got disqualified for not using the correct tires. Now at that time it was only drizzling, so it was like a few raindrops, so that we decided to keep the disqualification because it wasn't really wet enough for intermediates. So that stood. But there was another time, I forget what race, but somebody disqualified in almost a very similar situation like this, and the game didn't think it was raining when it clearly was. So, yeah.
Cool.
Masters.
Yeah. Yep. So I assume we're going to go and get this podium in here. We'll get both the Williams and Cyanical, since that's how they finished at the moment.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, if you guys, if you enjoyed yet another crazy race of the silver class, we got 2 more races this week here at Japan. Golden class tomorrow night, and platinum class will be back after a 1-week break. We'll be back for week 10 at Japan. And there they are.
All right. We'll start with P3 in the Williams of Kluka, who...
I guess he doesn't want to talk.
He just ding-dong ditched me. It's that time of month. Yeah, he's back now. Yeah, so Kluka finished third. You had a nice qualifying there up on the front row. Difficulties on the opening lap, starting on those hard tires. Had to go from the back of the pack once again to get back up. And for the time being, it scores you on P3. So, yeah, kind of up and down, back up day for you. But, yeah, talk us through it a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of messed up the start a little bit. I got a warning and then kind of spun off turn 2. I wasn't too happy about that. And then couldn't really get back up to the front till the end with the kind of innerish dry weather, and then I kind of messed that up. Almost got a puncture, but got P3 somehow.
Yeah, and how was that towards the end of the race there with the intermediates coming down? We saw that you were using a lot of battery to close in on the guys in front, and you kind of pitted 2 laps earlier than Pilot and Zionicle. Did you think you could undercut them and take the lead there, or what were you thinking in the pit stop phase there?
Yeah, I was hoping for the rain to come down a little bit more. It was not really coming down, so I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. So at the end of that race, I think I was at like 80% inners, so they were burnt. It was a hassle to drive. My front tires were overheating nonstop.
Cool. Camden?
Yeah, so for the time being, Colby, you're going to be on the podium, but it's looking like Oreo's disqualification might get reversed because of rules that we have in place. So either way, though, you're getting a good finish, which is good considering, like you said, the start of the race was quite the disaster. But you're good at coming from the back to the front. I am a little curious, though. So I noticed you were draining the battery way more than everybody else, and it was right before the weather came into play. Were you doing that because you knew what was coming with the weather, or were you just being really aggressive with the battery?
Kind of both those. I knew the fact the weather was coming, so I was going to drain it, and I was on fresh medium, so I was going to take the opportunity to cut through the field. I think I cut through 6 spots by draining my battery and then came all back. I've learned, too, with practicing the fact that this track, you can gain your battery back pretty fast, so I figured just burn through it.
Okay, interesting, because I was definitely kind of looking at your battery and comparing it to everyone else, and I'm like, should he be doing this early on in the race? But you had the right idea, obviously, and you get another good finish. So, like I said, not sure if the podium's going to stand, but for now, congrats on the P3.
Thank you. And one more thing, I'd like to thank my race engineer for this race. He told me to do this. That's the only reason why I got P3.
Sounds good.
Well, actually, another question on that. Is that the person who was racing tonight?
No,
or did you get a new? You got a new one. You fired that guy,
yeah.
And you got a new one. Is that right?
Kicked him to the curb.
All right.
Nah, I got a new guy. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, he knows people.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Cool. Well, congratulations on the podium for the now, and yeah, we'll see you back next week.
Thank you.
Camden, where are we next week?
We are in Australia. Let me double check. It's either Australia or Singapore. Let me double check here. This will take 2 seconds. We are in Australia next week for the sprint race, by the way. Sprint week is coming back.
Oh, really? Oh, look at that.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, back P2 in the Williams once again. Pilot, get yourself a podium there. It was touch and go for the win. I think Zanical just edged you over the last few laps. Kind of had the speed there. Were you hoping to keep it dry to the end? I know the rain came quite early, but if roles were reversed, if it was dry weather, would you win that race, or did you like the intermediates condition there?
I think if it stayed dry the rest of the race, my odds would have been pretty good considering Zionical's tires were just so much worse at that point. And or even if it stayed at that weird like mix between dry and wet, I think I had a decent shot at getting the win, but it was really that last like lap or two where it started to get more wet that I just couldn't keep up.
And also for you, I think it was kind of a up and down day for a little bit. How would you rate your day? The result is great, but talk us through any crazy bits throughout the race.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it was a pretty good race. I didn't have many problems with anyone. I think I got in one little incident where we were like almost three wide, and it sort of created a bit of a problem, but nobody crashed out or anything. I lost like 2 positions, but I managed to get it back, so it all turned out pretty well.
Sweet. And Camden?
Yeah, Pilot, good job on the podium. You were obviously quick. You and Zionical were duking it out there. I am a little curious, though. I don't ask this question very often, but how much practice do you do for rainy conditions? Do you practice at all for these type of conditions? And did you practice at all in the rain before the race today?
I didn't practice for this race at all. I think I did 3 laps of time trial a couple days ago, and that was about it. I haven't had much time, so it was pretty much a shock result. But generally, I put in a bit of practice, but none in the wet.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting because there are some days where I don't really practice much before the race, and there's times where I actually do really good in the race. Maybe it's because I'm not putting pressure on myself or anything beforehand, but yeah, no, that's really interesting. And next week is Australia, like we said. How are you feeling about that race with the sprint format coming back?
Australia generally isn't a track that I'm very good with, so I don't know how well that it's going to go next week. And I mean, the sprint races, they really just take up a lot of time, but I'm kind of impartial with them.
Right on. Well, congrats on the P2 finish, and see you next week.
All right, and we'll move on to our winner of the hour. It is back to Zionical. You grab the championship lead once again, and you're back to your winning ways. How good does that feel after 2 weeks of a DNF and a win in the Golden Class, which I kind of just found out about during the stream. May or may not have. But how are we feeling now tonight?
It was pretty good. I don't know, I kind of just put it down to quali. Getting up front, so I'd be less likely to get in an incident, and mess my race up early. And I had a decent quali, and I knew Japan is never going to be as bad as Monza for T1 incidents. So I was as long as I just get through T1, I like my pace here. I feel like I was pretty good. So yeah, it felt really good. Felt good to get a win.
Now, I was saying on the stream earlier, at the beginning of it, I was saying that it's, being at Japan, it's a good or a bad thing, depending on if you like it, if you're prepared, and, because you could get that pole position like you did, and go out there and kind of control the race. How much practice did you do for this one, and is Japan generally a track that you like?
I did a decent amount of practice for Japan overall. Not a ton, but I was better at it than I expected. On F122 I was really, really bad at Japan. It was one of my worst tracks. So I don't know why I was fast on it this time. But I did practice it a bit. Pilot, I think if they had practiced it as much as me, would have been maybe faster than me, or who knows. But they were really fast too. I will say, just like them though, I don't practice in the wet at all. Like I saw those raindrops in quali, and I was like, please no. I was like, please, please, please. But it ended up being fine.
And how good does it seem? You got a pretty big chunk off of F1 Nerd today. He had a drive-through. Did you know he got that drive-through? He also, I'm sure you do, did realize, but during that time when he got the penalty, he also overtook you. You had a little bit of a moment in the S section, just a little wiggle. What were you thinking, when he got that, and how happy are you that you score big here?
Well, yeah, it was good. I saw. Look, I think it was unfortunate the way it happened because I hate seeing drive-through penalties on VSCs. They're like so annoying to avoid sometimes in this game, and it's like so like not lenient. But I almost got one as well. Like if you guys saw like through the hairpin, I went like dead stop to avoid it, and I just barely avoided it. But it meant that F1 Nerd and like everybody else started on my back when I was like 2 seconds ahead before it. So it's just it scared the hell out of me too. But I did see them pick it up, and I knew that if I just didn't have an incident, that would mean like a big swing in the points, which was good.
All right, well, congratulations on that, Camden.
Yeah, Zionical. First off, congrats on the win and getting back into the podium. I want to kind of go back to last week because we did talk a little bit, and I know that you were kind of looking to maybe switch to the Golden Class after the last couple of weeks and the incidents that you got into, but you're now at a point to where you're back in the championship lead by a pretty good margin, and we've only got 5 races to go. So how's the mentality here for the next month or so? Are you still you happy that you're sticking in the silver class? And like I said, what's the mentality going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll be happy as long as like I'm getting clean races. But I do think that like it's gonna be alive probably for me and F1 Nerd till like the last race because there's just like so much variability. I feel like in the results lately, and like you just have like one incident, and there's so many like fast people in silver, like there really are, that like you can end up just like down in the points because of one mistake. Or one like unfortunate like strategy moment. So like it's I think unless there's some crazy stuff that happens, it's gonna be down to the last race probably for us or close,
Now, I'm not too familiar with your background and like other leagues that you've been in, but is this the first time that you're kind of in the hunt for a championship?
Yeah, this is the first racing league that I've done.
No kidding.
And, yeah, well, I didn't know what to expect. I joined silver because it was like my first one. And it ended up, being a really good time. There are a lot of really fast people here. Me and F1 Nerd are in this drivers championship battle that's been like seesawing all around lately. And it's been like a really good time. And I've been really happy with how I've done overall, but it's also just like fun to race a lot of the guys in silver. So it's a good time.
That's awesome. Well, once again, congrats on the win, and I know I'm going to see you tomorrow night in the Golden Class because you're just as much of a Golden Class driver as you are a Silver Class driver nowadays. So good luck tomorrow night.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited, and also like credit to like Pilot. Like me and Pilot had like some amazing battles for like almost half the race, and like when it got to the end, it was less about battling and just about like which one of us would not lock up the worst ever and like lose the race. So it was like fun the whole way. It was so close. I thought either of us had it. I had no idea. But thanks, appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you have it. That'll conclude the post-race interviews. I will hand it to Camden. For 5 words or less, sum up tonight.
Oh boy. Well, the first one's going to be easy. Rain. It's been a couple weeks since we had rain, so I'll say rain. I'll say mistakes. That's another easy one, but we saw a lot of it today, and we saw a lot of it from some really quick guys. And then I'm gonna go with heartbreak. I know Oreo is most likely gonna get his first podium when it's all said and done, but he was so close. I'm telling you, if he didn't have that penalty, if the rain held off for maybe a couple more laps, that was gonna be his win.
There you have it. Well, yeah, I can agree with all of those. Yeah, that's going to do it here tonight. This was your round 10 for the Japanese Grand Prix here in the silver class. Hope everyone has enjoyed. If you have, consider giving us a like rating on the YouTube side of things. Leave a comment. Even if you listen to this after, leave a comment on the YouTube for your reactions. We'll be back here tomorrow for the golden class and Thursday for the platinum class, for sure this time. And yeah, you can check the description for more information. You can still sign up and we'll get you on the grid. You can check the description. We have our Fanatec affiliation link. We have TCR merchandise, and to join our Discord where we are the most active, and we have a bunch more information there. So without further ado, that is it for tonight's race. From Camden and myself, Sir Freeze, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, have a good night, everybody. And myself, Sir Freeze, it's been a pleasure. And myself, Sir Freeze, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, have a good night, everybody.